You've heard of Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous creator of Bitcoin. But what about the reclusive Winklevoss twins? They own a mountain of Bitcoin. Some say enough to control the market. Who are they, and how did they pull off this crypto coup? In this video, we'll separate fact from fiction and reveal the untold story of the Winklevoss twins' rise to Bitcoin power. We will explore their controversial past, delve into their crypto strategies, and answer the question: are they saviors or saboteurs of the digital currency revolution? Everyone knows where Facebook came from by now. The Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron, meet with Mark Zuckerberg to discuss the development of their proposed social network. At first, Mark agrees to assist with website development, but eventually starts working on his own social network in the background. The Winklevoss twins file a lawsuit against Zuckerberg for concept theft as soon as they comprehend what has transpired. Many years later, this court dispute is at the center of a critically acclaimed Hollywood film that traces the origins of Facebook. But after that, what transpired? At long last, Facebook extended a $65 million settlement to the Winklevoss twins, or Winklevi as they are commonly known. The twins had different ideas though, and their solicitors had encouraged them to accept them. They want Facebook stock as compensation rather than cash. Their solicitors attempted to dissuade them from believing it, since they couldn't believe it. It wasn't all about the money for the Winklevoss twins. The members of this affluent family recognized Facebook's enormous development potential and invested accordingly. As a result, they desired a stake in the business. Their choice to receive payment in stock turned out to be a wise one. As a result of Facebook's first public offering, or IPO, the Winklevi family's share worth increased to $500 million. However, this open conflict with Zuckerberg did not go unnoticed. In direct contrast to Zuckerberg's portrayal as the mastermind behind Facebook's success, they were represented in the media as a punchline, and the Facebook film was spoilt and entitled. Neither he nor they were the pioneers in developing the concept of a social network. Before Facebook, there were platforms like Friendster and MySpace. Ideas are indeed a dime a dozen. The execution counts. So, after the legal battles ended, the Winklevoss twins found themselves with a hefty sum of money, but a tarnished reputation. Now, imagine having $500 million in your pocket. You could jet set around the world, buy fancy cars, or snap up mansions, but the Winklevoss twins had a different plan. They wanted to shed the losers label and rewrite their history. Their idea? Becoming angel investors in Silicon Valley, backing startups they believed could be the next big thing. However, they hit a roadblock. Despite their offers, companies kept turning down their investment. They couldn't figure out why until they dug deeper. It all pointed back to one person, Mark Zuckerberg. In Silicon Valley, many founders saw Facebook as their ultimate goal, hoping to sell their business to or partner with Zuckerberg's empire. But Zuckerberg had made it clear he wouldn't touch a company if the Winklevoss twins were involved. This realization hit hard. The twins found themselves toxic in the startup world. Their money was unwanted, their presence unwelcome. It was a blow they didn't see coming, leaving them unsure of their next move. In search of a distraction, they headed to Ibiza, hoping to lose themselves in the scene. But even amid the glitz and glamour of the club scene, they couldn't shake the weight of their situation. As they danced the night away, their minds were consumed with the question, what now? As they left the club, the Winklevoss twins knew they wanted to make a meaningful impact, to prove themselves, but then it wasn't doing it for them. Just as they were about to leave, someone called out to them, "Hey, are you the Winklevi?" It's hard not to stand out when you're 6'5" twins portrayed in an Oscar-nominated movie. The guy, introducing himself as David Azar, had something important to share. Pulling out a dollar bill, David smiled and said, "A revolution." It caught the twins' attention. Standing on that Ibiza beach, David passionately explained a new technology called Bitcoin. Twins had never heard of it before, but then again, hardly anyone had. It was a moment that would change everything for the Winklevoss twins, setting them on a path they never imagined. In 2012, Bitcoin was still a relatively new concept, having been launched in 2009. As David passionately explained Bitcoin to the Winklevoss twins on that Ibiza beach, they were intrigued but uncertain. Was Bitcoin revolutionary or just a passing fad? David broke it down for them. Bitcoin was digital money, a decentralized currency that operated without banks or credit card companies. With only 21 million Bitcoin ever to exist, it offered a hedge against endless government printing of money, a prospect that appealed after the 2008 financial crisis. The mysterious origin of Bitcoin added to its allure, created by someone named Satoshi Nakamoto, who vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a white paper outlining the concept. Satoshi's true identity remains unknown, adding an air of mystery to Bitcoin's story. David also pitched them an investment opportunity in BitInstant, a company facilitating the purchase of Bitcoin for regular cash. Although the company was run from a basement and the idea seemed audacious, the twins saw potential. As economics graduates from Harvard, they recognized Bitcoin's similarities to gold: durable, portable, and scarce. Bitcoin had the added advantage of being easily divisible and transferable. However, Bitcoin's value was based solely on belief and demand. Unlike gold, which had intrinsic value, the twins understood the risks but also saw the potential for Bitcoin to revolutionize finance. It wasn't the typical conversation for a night in Ibiza, but for the Winklevoss twins, it was the start of a journey into cryptocurrency. So, the Winklevoss twins weren't about to let Bitcoin slip through their fingers. They wanted to dig deeper into this cryptocurrency gig and asked David for more info. After exchanging contacts, they went full-on detective mode, diving into the murky world of digital money. But Bitcoin had a shady reputation back in 2012. People mostly associated it with sketchy stuff like buying drugs or dodging taxes. Plus, there were horror stories of people getting hacked or accidentally tossing out hard drives filled with Bitcoin. Despite all the drama, the twins saw the potential. They realized that it could be a game changer if more people understood Bitcoin. And get this, the first ever recorded Bitcoin purchase was for pizza. Yep, some dude in Florida forked over 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple pies. Today, that'd be worth a mind-blowing fortune, but back then, nobody saw it coming. So the Winklevi decided to jump on the Bitcoin bandwagon. They became investors in BitInstant, Charlie Shrem's Bitcoin exchange, throwing down a cool $1.5 million. But they didn't stop there. They wanted a piece of the Bitcoin pie for themselves. They asked Charlie to snag them $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, then asked for another batch a few days later. Before you knew it, they owned around 1% of all Bitcoins out there, nabbing roughly 200,000 coins when the price was dirt cheap. Little did they know, their investment was about to skyrocket, thanks to some unexpected events on a tiny island. In Cyprus, banks took a hit due to some pretty bad financial moves. They lent heaps of cash to Greece, and when Greece's economy went south, they doubled down and bought even more Greek government bonds. As a result, the banks in Cyprus found themselves in a tough spot. They were broke. Cyprus needed help, so they turned to the EU for a bailout. But the EU had a condition. Cyprus had to chip in some of its own cash. Cyprus devised a plan. They decided to dip into the pockets of their own citizens. Banks were ordered to snatch funds from their customers' accounts to cover the country's debts. Imagine waking up one morning, checking your bank balance, and finding it lighter because the government needed your money. The Winklevoss twins caught wind of this Cyprus fiasco and knew it was a big deal. It exposed the risks of a centralized system where governments and banks could do as they pleased. People started thinking they needed something more secure, something the government couldn't just grab. Then, like a spotlight, the Cyprus mess shone on Bitcoin. Suddenly, everyone wanted in. The price of Bitcoin shot up, from a few $100 to $500, then to $1,000 per coin. News outlets caught the fever, and the buzz kept building, driving the price even higher. While all this Bitcoin madness unfolded, the Winklevoss twins sang Bitcoin's praises on a world tour. However, the twins believed that Bitcoin needed a bit of regulation to become mainstream. They thought rules would actually help Bitcoin shed its shady reputation. Many early Bitcoin fans disagreed, though. They believed in Bitcoin's original spirit, total freedom from government interference. So there was tension between the Winklevi and the die-hard Bitcoiners. Even within BitInstant, the company the twins invested in, some people didn't trust them. They saw the twins as outsiders, suits who didn't get the true Bitcoin vision. It all ended in a lawsuit between the twins and BitInstant's founder, Charlie. Charlie's BitInstant company was riding high on the Bitcoin wave. As Bitcoin gained popularity, more people wanted to get their hands on it, and BitInstant was there to make it happen. You see, at that time, the main Bitcoin exchange was a clunky outfit called Mt. Gox, run by a flamboyant Frenchman in Japan who fancied himself the king of Bitcoin. Mt. Gox was a hassle to use. You had to jump through hoops, wait for weeks, and deal with all sorts of headaches. BitInstant saw an opportunity and swooped in as the middleman. They bought Bitcoin in bulk from Mt. Gox and sold it to eager buyers quickly and easily. Business was booming for BitInstant, especially after the Winklevoss twins pumped some cash into it. Daily transactions skyrocketed, making BitInstant a major player in the Bitcoin scene. But fame and fortune seemed to go to Charlie's head. He was living it up, rubbing shoulders with models and neglecting his CEO duties. Can you blame him? It was quite a leap from being a high school nobody to a crypto superstar. The twins, however, weren't impressed. They saw trouble brewing. Sure, BitInstant was processing loads of Bitcoin, but the company itself wasn't making bank. Charlie kept asking for more money to cover costs. And things inside the company were a bit chaotic. With tensions rising, the twins tried to set things straight. They brought Charlie to important meetings to promote Bitcoin adoption, but he showed up drunk or hungover, messing up presentations. The twins warned Charlie to shape up or ship out, but he shrugged it off, thinking they were overreacting. Silk Road was like the Wild West of the internet, where you could buy anything from drugs to guns with Bitcoin. But in 2013, they came crashing down when the guy running the Silk Road got busted and locked up for life. As soon as the news hit, Bitcoin's value took a nosedive, dragging down the Winklevoss twins' bank account with it. But instead of panicking, the twins saw an opportunity in the chaos. They figured that Silk Road's demise could actually be a good thing for Bitcoin in the long run. However, things got messier when Charlie's company, BitInstant, went belly up. After Silk Road went down, BitInstant lost its license, and Charlie found himself in hot water. He got slapped with charges for helping Silk Road users make transactions, which landed him in a jail cell with a big question mark over his future. Tune in and subscribe for more. Check out the channel for more such interesting stories.